All right, hello, my name is Jason Garcia. I am the general manager at the Indigenous Food Lab Market. Today we're going to be preparing some Tuscarora white corn. As you can see, it's kind of a light, puffy corn. This is just dried. This strain of corn is an heirloom strain that is over 1,400 years old. It's been grown primarily in the eastern United States by members of the Haudenosaunee Confederation. This in particular comes to us from the Oneida Nation near Green Bay, Wisconsin. They have recently started a co-op to grow this corn and start regenerating the growth and availability of this corn. We're going to prepare it today in a very traditional fashion. We're going to nixtamalize it, or as the Oneida people refer to it as hulling. That means we're going to cook it in boiling water along with some hardwood ash. That hardwood ash will make the water an alkali solution that will help break down husks of each kernel of corn and make it even softer and more easy to eat. One of the other advantages to nixtamalizing the corn is that it makes the naturally occurring vitamins like niacin as well as the dietary fiber in the corn bioavailable. That's what allowed indigenous people in the Americas to survive on a corn-based diet for thousands of years before colonization. So you want to make sure that your water is at a rolling boil. It has to be really hot so that when we add the ash and the corn, everything starts cooking right away. So the first thing that I'm going to do is add in this hardwood ash and give it a good stir. You can see it starts to immediately change the color of that water as it dissolves. And then we're going to add our corn into the solution. Give it another good stir and let it come back up to that rolling boil. And the whole process, you want it to be cooking at a high temperature, making sure that it's able to start breaking down the hulls of those corns. As we start to bring the corn back up to a boil, we just want to make sure that everything gets nice and mixed in. For the ratios that we're using here, we're using about a quart of corn, which is about 1.5 pounds. The ash is about 1 cup or 150 grams. Now, the traditional use for the ash is a hardwood ash. You can use other things if you have a juniper ash or a softwood ash like pine or things like that. But this is, again, the traditional way. And as this corn is starting to cook, you can see the coloration change. You see it turn into this bright orange. That means that the nixtamalization process is taking place. It means that the chemical change is happening inside the corn. Now, for this amount of corn, you typically want to cook it about 2 hours to 2.5 hours to break that down. So we're going to take a break here and let that work, and we will come back and show you what that looks like when it's done. All right, so the corn has finished cooking. We cooked it at that boil for about 2 hours until the husk got soft and the texture is the way that we want it. So now we're going to go and rinse it out of this ash solution, and we'll be right back. All right, so now we have rinsed our hominy or nixtamalized corn out. You can kind of see the difference between the dried kernels and the nixtamalized or hulled kernels here. The nixtamalized corn has increased about 2 times in size. It's also much softer. You can kind of see the difference here. When you squeeze, it comes apart easily. You can also see that that bright orange color has faded, except for around the eye of the corn there. And that's kind of how we know it's done. If you wanted to save this to make something like masa for tamales or for tortillas, you would cook it a little bit less than this so it has more of that husk remaining, and that's what helps bind that together. However, for our purposes, if you want to eat it as a side or put it in soup, this is the consistency that we're looking for. A very traditional way to make this into a soup in the Oneida fashion would be to add chicken or pork, since those are pretty common. Of course, more traditionally would be a game meat like venison, wild turkey, partridge, quail, things like that. Whatever is available at that time of the year as a game food. That is the very easy process of nixtamalizing corn using hardwood ash. I would like to thank Pam Johns Danforth from the Oneida Reservation in Oneida, Wisconsin, for the corn that we're working with today and for the demonstration that she gave me and the recipe on how to make this. You'll be able to find this information on our website at natives.org. Thank you very much. Have a great day.